The Watching Dead, the officially unofficial podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. We are part of the Bald Move Network. You can find everything we do at baldmove.com. I'm Jim.
And I'm Aaron.
And this week we're covering Season 3, Episode 7 of The Walking Dead, entitled When the Dead Come Knocking.
Don't come a-rockin'.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about the title right up front? Play the name game right now? Because I'm honestly clueless when it comes to this name.
I'm guessing it's referring to the cabin adventure.
Really? That seemed like the least important part of this episode.
Yes.
To name it after that seems crazy.
I agree, but...
The Dead Come Knocking. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Seems weird.
I don't know. Are they trying to... I don't know. Yeah. That's got to be it, though.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, unless they're talking like Proto-Men style, metaphorically, we are the dead of Rick's group. They're coming knocking on Woodbury.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know in the comics that Rick makes that. This isn't really a spoiler. He actually makes that connection where he has this epiphany, like, you know, we're the Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
You know, because we're just waiting to die. And, you know, that's all our life is death.
Yeah, because eventually they will be walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's in the past now. What do you think of this episode?
I kind of want to say it's the best of the season.
Yeah, man. I'm with you. It was really good.
There was others that had a lot more action, and some of them were cooler, but as far as keeping me on pins and needles, using music to Max Effect, tying together plot lines, like, you know, finally bridging the gap between Woodbury and the prison.
Not even finally, just they did it. Like, season 2, it would have been the last episode of the season, not the second to last episode of the mid-season.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Like, this has been such a big turnaround.
Yes.
In the way that they've approached the speed of the season.
Which, so... Obviously, when Darabont got ousted and Mazzara took over, and they had this big creative turmoil, and a lot of actors wanted out, do you think that we'll look back at the end of this run and see Season 2 as an aberration where the show was desperately trying to retool this to go into a less Darabont-y, you know, a less thoughtful, more action-oriented, more suspense and horror-oriented direction? Or do you think... because sometimes I even think that some of the uneven moments in this season were about, you know, getting rid of things that weren't working, like Lori and Rick's relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just, you know, have a big dramatic get out of this. And I've had some inside... Sepinwall mentioned either in his podcast or his article about that there was scuttlebutt that Iron E. Singleton, the guy that played T-Dog, was quote-unquote difficult to work with.
Oh, okay.
That's how he's perceived amongst the production crew.
He just kept saying, "Give me more lines, damn it!"
Yeah, right. Can you believe this guy? No, but I just wonder if they didn't decide to, instead of beefing him up and making him into a bigger role, like, you know, we're going to kill him off, and then bring on a guy that we really like to fulfill the things we wanted T-Dog to do, which is why he didn't get any screen time, and which is why his character arc didn't go anywhere.
Could be.
But
they keep claiming. I mean, Mazzara on his Twitter account keeps claiming that they couldn't do these things with T-Dog because they hadn't built him up enough, right?
Well, and we're going to get into a little spoiler territory, which segues to, we have a new spoiler policy we've been talking about the last few weeks, but I want to do up front.
Well, I just wanted to temporarily call bullshit on it because they killed him off before they could do anything with him.
Yes, but I think we need to get into the spoiler section because we've got some very light. So we've got. So we've got featherweight spoilers this week. We got some medium weight spoilers, and then we've got the hard hitting. Brickbat to the skull spoilers. So they're all safely sequestered after the music. We're going to try something new. I've ordered them to where we talk about the light stuff, which is basically casting news, which is going to come to fruition next week. But there's maybe some light spoilers there. If you're a comic book fan, and have no fear. There's some middle ground, which is more of a comic discussion and stuff like that. And then I will say... We're about to do the heavy-hitting Hiroshima-type spoilers.
Arm through the skull.
Yeah.
Armchair through the skull spoilers.
So I'll give you a little bit more notice to switch off, because some people's like, well, we don't want to hit the we don't want to hear the synopsis of the episode, but we do want to hear the comic booky stuff. So we're going to try that as a new policy.
All right.
A couple other pieces of news. Go ahead and announce it now. We're going to have a Bald Move meetup in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday, February 1st at 7 p.m. at the Avery Brewery. And you can find more information about that location at averybrewing.com. But I kind of flubbed the meetup in Seattle, didn't give enough advance notice, so I'm letting you know now. Not just us, but all the Bald Move guys. Eric and Jesse from Personal Arrogance. Levi Jeans is a frequent feedbacker for us and contributor over there.
Couple guest host appearances on Personal Arrogance as well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
We're all going to be there, and we're going to be hanging out. We'll probably bring some Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
And kick back some brews. You're welcome to join us. So if that sounds like a good plan, Friday, February 1st at 7 p.m. at the Avery Brewing Company. Also, you have forgotten to pimp our not our spoiler music, but our general music for I don't know how many weeks in a row. And it's a crime because he's your brother.
It is a crime.
It's blood, Jim.
Yeah, I feel like Merle right now. Just totally bagging on my brother here. My brother has a band called My Stereona. You can find him at mystereonamusic.com. And they wrote the awesome spine-tingling theme song that we have.
It is great. All of our original stuff, all of our original theme music is really good. I like the Night's Watch stuff. But Night's Watch and the Watching Dead in particular have really hard-hitting themes. And thank you for that.
Yep. All right, real quick before we get into the recap, what do you rate this episode? Give me a number.
9.
Yeah, very nice. I was going to say the same thing, so we're in agreement.
Now, that doesn't mean...
I said give me a number, not a word.
Okay, that doesn't mean there's not some bullshit in this episode.
That's true.
You know we've got to talk, and I know you all are thinking, I bet I know what the bullshit's going to be.
Yep.
So,
all right, well, let's get into the recap. It starts off with Merle interrogating Glenn. We kind of pick up right where we wanted to see this episode pick up, I think. Mm-hmm. And Maggie's listening in from the next room.
Yep. Pretty effective interrogation technique.
Yeah. The thing I noticed right off the bat was racist Merle is back.
He is back.
He's back. Merle has not changed one bit.
No. He's got
We all knew that, but...
He had a little veneer of civility on him, but no, he hasn't changed.
Yep. I was a little creeped out by Merle's seduction techniques here with Glenn. That's what he was trying to do, right? Seduce him? Talking about Maggie's soft lips and skin. Trembling skin.
It's so funny you said that because there is a male-on-male seduction scene in the new James Bond movie.
Oh, is there?
I did get a little bit of Bondy, a little bit of a Bondy Bond vibe off of this scene. But Glenn comes back strong with the headbutt to the face.
Yes.
For the record, I don't think Merle was coming on to Glenn.
No, of course not.
Yeah, I don't know. Talking about women's trembling skin. Whatever.
Whatever that means.
I don't think you get to fully appreciate that when you're doing it on the filthy floor of a guard tower. I don't think you get to take in the full essence of one's womanhood the way Merle would suggest.
After 8 months
Maybe
on the run.
here in Woodbury.
Maybe.
With the governor and Merle and their fine assortments of breeding stock that they've got going on here.
Yep.
But not in the grimy floor of the guard tower.
So this nose thing that he does to Glenn.
Oh, I thought he was going to cut his fucking nose off.
I did too. I was like, please don't do that. I can't watch that.
That would be so cool.
It would have been awesome, but
because it's a completely non-fatal wound. It's like cutting someone's ear off, but it would
bleed
debilitating.
A lot, but that's it.
Oh no, it hurt, but it's more like it's a destruction of self, man. Mm-hmm. Like your face is you.
Yeah.
And you fuck with that, it's powerful.
Definitely.
Powerful juju. I thought they were going to go there.
But apparently this is a thing that actually really, really hurts. Like if you take, I saw this on Reddit, and somebody was saying if you take like a credit card, put it up to your nose and push upward towards your nose, it really freaking hurts.
Let's try it, Jim.
You can try it. I'll keep moving on to the next scene, and when we hear you scream, we'll know it's done.
Yeah, I don't know. So wait, you don't just push into their face? You actually...
No, you push up.
Oh, fuck. That does hurt. Wow.
Does it really?
If I really laid in on this,
yeah.
That hurts a lot. Wow.
Okay.
That's surprisingly painful.
Yeah, because I didn't know what he was doing at first other than cutting his nose off.
Yeah, I have this little rounded piece of metal thing, like kind of like a solid billet harmonica, if you will. And a second of that was more than I could take, and I didn't even push it very hard.
Wow.
Damn, that would hurt.
All right, next scene is Rick kind of realizing here that Michonne is alive, a human being, not a zombie, and letting her into the prison. Very, very slowly.
Yeah, in fact...
Doesn't he do it, like, really nonchalant? He's just like, I guess.
I don't even know that the way they filmed it, you're kind of left to decide that did Carl Jr. decide, I can't take this no more, and I'm going to save him, and his dad kind of guilted his dad in action? Or was this something that, as Michonne is blacking out, Rick said, fuck it, Carl,
I honestly don't know, because he took his sweet-ass time.
Yes, he did.
Like, he just turned around and kind of moseyed over.
Yep.
Maybe that's what he does, though. He's a cowboy. I did think it was a pretty cool touch here that when Michonne kind of grabs her leg, touches her wound, and it bleeds all over her hand, when she puts it back up on the fence, the zombie smells it because it's right by his face.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, oh, that was pretty neat.
Yep.
So, not bad. And that's pretty much all I have about that scene. Next, Rick takes Michonne into the foyer of the prison, foyer, if you want to get fancy, and begins to interrogate her. And Daryl comes in, pulls him aside to show him that he found Carol alive.
Which was surprisingly nice little scene. I was all fixed up to, like, mock it and say, like Rick comes in, he's just crestfallen. He's like, oh, something really cool. Daryl's all excited. Oh, fuck. Carol. But then they started reacting, and these people have become real characters. It snuck up on me.
Yeah.
Like, when Carol, like, sees Rick and the baby and then doesn't see Lori, and she makes the connection, and they have a genuine moment there.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit.
Although, it was funny because when she started crying about Lori, you could see a shot of over her shoulder, Rick's there in the shot, and I was just thinking, yeah, Rick's probably thinking, Carol, we did this already. We kind of mourned her and moved on. A little late to the party.
I mean, he did go through his full-on crazy. I don't think that he's gone through all...
No, I'm kidding.
He invented a new cycle of grief called psychosis.
Regrief.
Regrief?
It's regriefing.
It's going to re-trigger a psychotic break.
It might. We go back to Woodbury, and Milton tells the governor that this dude, and I don't remember his name.
Mr. Coleman.
Mr. Coleman.
I enjoy his lanterns and tints.
Oh, boy. Coleman Camping Supplies. Not a sponsor of this show. But the dude is ready to die, and Andrea pulls on her pants at the governor's place, says, I'll be back. She takes off, goes somewhere. Milton, surprisingly off-put by the governor in his robe.
He's just socially awkward. You
think he was just surprised that...
He's retained his socially awkward penguin status from Glenn.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't see him wearing the hat, though. Glenn doesn't have the hat either now.
No,
so
that hat's long gone.
He's
wearing the socially awkward penguin pajamas.
Gotcha.
That's what he is.
Maybe they were onesies. That's what I'm thinking.
The thing is, that robe is incredibly short. It just ends at his navel. So that's why it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So why do you even wear that, Governor?
Yeah. Oh, boy. You have anything else, or should we move on?
No.
All right. Rick interrogates Michonne some more and immediately becomes hostile with her.
Yeah.
He asks her a question, then grabs her and says, you're going to tell me.
And she was kind of cooperating.
I know.
Now, she was being probably needlessly standoffish, and, it's one of these things that always drives me crazy in a show, when someone with no hand at all, they don't have an upper hand, they just got no hand at all, tries to act tough, and, they get what's coming to them. It's like, it's one thing if you come in, you've got a hostage, or you got something they need, something to bargain with. She's got information, and saying, I ain't telling you nothing is going to do nothing but invite more torture and pain. And why?
Definitely.
I mean, they brought her in, they're offering to treat her medically. I'm
glad she was giving up information, just not as at the rate that Rick wanted her to.
Well, and that's understandable. Like, what if someone had captured Andrea and started being sass about it? And Michonne would whipped out the sword and started playing Make the Pig Squeal pretty damn quick. So I don't understand.
Okay.
It's not that uncommon for people to lack basic empathy. And
sure.
How often do you see incredible assholes act offended when other people are assholes to them? So maybe she's got a little bit of that going for her.
Gotcha. This was my favorite scene, I have to say.
Seriously?
Absolute favorite scene of the entire show, actually.
Why?
Because my name was mentioned in it.
Oh, of course.
And they called me charming.
And a pretty boy.
Yeah, and a pretty boy.
You are all of the above.
I will check those boxes. Thank you. No, not my favorite scene, but cool to hear a shout out to me.
Yep.
So then Glenn is back taking a beating at the hands of
Merle.
Merle.
They did answer the question of how she found the prison.
They just pointed her straight shot, said that way.
Well, but she lied there, right? Because I was one. She basically made it seem like Glenn and Maggie had interacted with her when really she just eavesdropped on them.
Oh, I thought she was talking about Andrea had told her that, but I guess...
How would Andrea know where the fuck the prison is at?
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
No, I'm...
No, okay.
This whole time, she was not lying, but shading the truth, letting Rick make an assumption that is not true. She didn't actually tell any lies.
Yeah, we had speculated last episode that she followed their tracks back or something.
Right. So she overheard enough of their conversation to understand where they came from and was able to fall back. And
I think she knew about the prison, right? She just didn't think it could be cleared.
Well, right.
Just like the governor.
Right. So, and that's something we kind of hit on by accident last week. We're saying, well, if Rick had stumbled upon it, and obviously the governor had stumbled upon it, Andrea and Michonne, I don't know why these people stayed around in unusually Arctic cold Georgia for a whole fucking year, but or whole winter, but whatever.
Sure. So next scene, Glenn's taking a beating at the hands of Merle.
Oh, a savage beating.
Yeah, he was pretty messed up looking.
He's looking like Stallone at the end of Rocky.
Oh, God. But he hasn't given anything up, so there's that. He's confident that Rick's coming to save him, but he gives away a little bit too much information to Merle, and he sees through his lies.
Yeah, there's so many ways to interrogate people, and I thought a lot of people were finding fault with it, but I thought these were pretty, interesting way. I mean, he tried to kind of like scare him, and then he beat on him, and then he let up and just kind of basically goaded him into saying, "I've got, we've got the upper hand, and there's nobody coming to get you." And by Glenn refuting that, trying to find his bravado, he inadvertently gave up the fact that, Now,
my question is, why does he bring up Andrea here? Because when Merle knew Andrea, she wasn't a badass by any stretch. So is that just to say there are a lot of people coming? Or
I think that, plus I got a lot of flavor of that Merle was impressed by how strong Glenn had become. And if you basically assume that kind of growth and toughness across the entire group of survivors Merle was afraid of, and it was a large camp at the time, maybe he assumed there's more, he's thinking, oh, if these are all as badass and hardcore as Maggie and Glenn. Yeah. So... yeah, I think that's what. Plus, Andrea wasn't a complete wuss. I mean, she had her gun, and she was quick to pull it on a motherfucker. A little too quick, as we talked about in the previous podcast. But I wouldn't say she was a puss of the group. Her sister, maybe.
But she wasn't the badass that she was becoming at the end of season 2, right?
Right. She's done a little bit of badass regression of late, but yeah. I'll get on that board. I'll get on board that train.
I thought it was pretty funny when he offered to bake a cake for him.
With pink icing.
Pink frosting, yeah. Glenn should have just shut up, take a page out of Michonne's book, and just clamp it. So next scene is Herschel patching up Michonne, and the group deciding to go after Glenn and Maggie. We get some really awesome camera work here, some shots that I really liked. They go up to the second level of that cell block and kind of shoot down on people. When Herschel's dressing Michonne's wound, there's this really wide shot of him and Carl and Michonne in that room that I liked a lot. Some good camera work there.
Yeah, and they are loading up for bear. I mean, they're packing their smoke grenades, their tear gas. What'd you think about who was more convincing in reassuring Carl Jr. here? Daryl or Rick himself?
Remind me what Rick does, because I remember Daryl says, "Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on your dad."
Right, and gives him the tough guy clap on the shoulder. Rick gets on Carl's level and basically apologizes, like, "Look, I know I haven't been there for you, and now I'm going away."
This is where he names the ass kicker.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I think so.
Where he gives the baby the worst name ever.
Right.
Judith is a terrible name, isn't it?
I would say yes.
Sorry to all of our listeners named Judith, but...
the thing is, there's...
Judy is fine.
Judy, yeah, so I guess you go Judy. Judy is short for Judith, right?
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, there's a lot of biblical allusions or quasi-biblical allusions to Judith, but I don't think they're going to go there.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, unless this is some kind of dark seed that they're planting. I don't think any of that stuff is going to come to fruition. Because isn't
They'd have
Judith
to
like
speed the timeline.
the sister of Eve? Like it's in some kind of apocryphal.
I am not.
I know she was.
well-versed.
She killed some dude in the Old Testament. Like she drove a tent spike. There was a chick that drove a tent spike.
I remember a lot of tent spikes.
Yeah, going through people's heads. There's that. But I think there's an apocryphal book where Judith is like the sister of Eve that marries Cain. And that they have like a, it's like some kind of
Maybe.
There's a lot of vampire stuff that's about this, some Anne Rice shit that I'm not aware of.
See, the thing that I read into this name is this baby to Carl and hopefully in his mind to the rest of the group as well. It represents hope, as babies so often do in shows.
Sure.
And he wants to give it a name from before all this stuff happened.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want it mixed up in this crazy world.
All right, that's a good take.
So that's what I was reading. We move on to Andrea arriving at the Swan Station, or I'm sorry, at the place where Mr. Coleman's about to die in the name of science. This scene just felt like Lost to me. The music, the shot of the glasses at the beginning on the table, kind of jolting you out of the previous scenario into this oddly pristine, but kind of grungy.
I got a very strong Soylent Green vibe off of it.
Yeah.
Which is the second time Chuck Heston made a mention in our outline because someone draws a parallel between Omega Man and last episode in the feedback. So
cool.
But yeah, I that's what I got. I'm like, is he going to be? Is this how the town stays so well fed? They take their old people in, and
this is what's in the tea.
Select your music track. Select your final experience, and
Soylent Tea is people.
Soylent Tea is people. We need to make that a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Along with our crowd.
Put that bowl on the front.
Yeah.
What is with the bowl? Can you tell me?
The prayer bowl? That's just some Tibetan thing.
Oh, is it? Okay, I had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah,
I just thought he was giving him an audio cue.
Yes.
When he woke up.
Yes, I don't think he has any kind of spiritual.
Okay.
And unless this guy kind of was faintly Oriental, though. Maybe. Did you think so?
Mr. Coleman?
Yeah, it's hard to tell the guy that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I would have believed that they really did get a dead guy in there. He was like, he's got that papery kind of skin, and and I know they can do a lot with makeup. Maybe he probably like one arm push up, kick my ass. But
probably.
Yeah, I just thought it was a cue, but I don't think there's any significance. Although now that's the second kind of quasi religious imagery we've seen in the cast. Now my wheels are spinning. Mazzara trying to get a little Villigan on us here?
Maybe. Is there any tie-in with the title? No. Can't think of any.
A dead come ringing.
Sure.
Soylent Tea is made out of people. We've got along with our, the Crouching Redneck Hidden Badass t-shirts.
Yes.
We got to come back strong with next season.
Definitely. Moving on.
Did we talk about what he's actually doing here, or has...
Yeah, he's getting ready to observe...
that's right. We haven't gotten to that
death.
scene yet. He describes the protocol next scene.
Yeah. So we go back to...
Speaking of protocol...
yeah, Merle totally breaking protocol in this next scene, where he drags a walker into the room with Glenn and just lets it loose.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck is Merle's plan here? Because playing the two hostages against each other and letting one hear what you're doing to the other is all well and good, but if you just fucking kill the dude, you lose that. And he didn't think that it was obvious from a later scene that he just kind of won that. He was pissed that Glenn wouldn't break, and he didn't really care what happened to him.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
The governor didn't seem too disturbed by.
I don't know. The governor is way down on Merle this episode.
You think?
He's questioning his loyalty. He's mad that he's failed. He takes over the interrogation.
Yeah, and also about the prisons. Like, you said this was untakeable. Yeah. Blah blah blah. I just feel like the governor, for the first time, feels a little unsure of his seat of power.
Yeah,
that he's not going to have the upper hand on these people.
Definitely. This, I have to say, this actually is one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. This is one of the few that got my heart racing.
Yeah.
Because I like Glenn as a character so much, and I really felt like he could die in this scene.
Yeah, and honestly, other than Rick and Carl, I don't know that they're... I mean, we talk about character shields. Daryl, maybe, but I don't really think after this season that anyone is 100% safe.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Except for, like I said, Rick and Carl. Now, this is the first time I noticed the music because they have this silent pan out of Glenn after he does his little primal war scream, and then they had this cymbal clash as it faded to black. It just really sets you kind of on your nerves on end.
Absolutely, and they started it off with another Lost reference. It was the crazy strings from the intro, the title card of Lost. It was very similar to that.
Yeah, the wall.
Yeah, weird. But yeah, I really liked when he hulked out at the end. It was sweet.
As again, racist Merle saying he feed the zombie Chinese, he's gonna Korean, I guess. Korean feed's gonna be hungry again in an hour.
See, I didn't pick that up the first time.
You didn't?
No.
Oh.
You were like, yeah, man, that's what he meant.
Yeah. Even after explaining the joke, you're like, no, he didn't go. I'm like, come on, this is fucking Merle.
Yeah,
you think he was accidentally insensitive?
We go back to Poindexter. Or, I'm sorry, Milton.
No, he's Poindexter.
Poindexter, who's trying to determine if the walkers are conscious after they turn. Mm-hmm. He kind of goes through the whole thing here, what he's doing with the bowl, what he's doing with the picture and the music. And
these are cues to help remind them post-mortem of who he is and all that. And the old man's going to raise his hand if he assents to any of this.
Right. Andrea's having none of this. She's like, no, this is the dumbest plan ever. He's going to jump up and he's going to eat you.
Which I understand she says. She starts to, first of all, Andrea seems to be very not forthcoming about her experiences with this.
I know.
Like she says, have you seen this? He's like, no. And she could have said, well, I did. My sister woke up and she tried to eat my face off and I shot her in the face.
Yep.
Also, I went to the CDC where I saw a fucking brain scan of someone turning and how all their higher functions just went black and turned off. She could have, a science guy like Poindexter probably would have been interested in all those things. But she's just like, I'm content to let you do your foolhardy experiment.
These are the only things I see in this show now that make me kind of cringe. When I know characters have information, they have no valid reason. They actually have incentive to tell people things.
Yes.
And they just don't.
Yeah, it's like a classic rom-com technique of, if these people ever said what was on their mind, the movie would be over in 30 minutes.
Yeah. But that's not the case. I think Breaking Bad is a perfect example of that, where everybody says what's on their mind, and the plot progresses naturally.
Yeah, or there's a good reason why. Like, Walt can't come out that he's a drug kingpin.
Sure.
And tries to protect his family from that. So, yeah, I mean, they make a certain amount of logical sense.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, with the breakneck pace this show is taking, this scene, as well as a scene later on down the line, it just seemed like we need to get Andrea away for the governor so we can do these interrogations and have the governor do his evil governor shit. Mm-hmm. But we've banned her from the wall, and we blah, blah, blah. So it's like, we're just going to have this old man dying. And it wasn't really... I mean, did you find it creepy or scary?
No, but I think it does show a side of Poindexter that we maybe caught slight glimpses of before. Which is what you actually said during the episode. You were saying he doesn't seem like much of a scientist. He seems like he doesn't really know what he's doing all that much. And maybe he's in his capacity, a little out of his capacity there.
Also something I talked a little bit on the spoiler segment of last week, and some theories I thought about.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So that's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll see more of that. Also, he telecommuted to work, which will actually save your life during the apocalypse.
And again, that makes perfect sense, him wearing pajamas all the time.
Yeah, there you go. The governor comes back to, Merle comes out to the governor, who asks him how the interrogations are going. And when Merle has bad news, the governor decides to interrogate Maggie himself. And things get really, really tense in the interrogation room. The one thing that stood out to me every single time I watch this episode is when the governor tells Maggie that she's going to be safe if she just gives up information. He clicks his teeth.
Yeah.
And that was weird. He does it intentionally, right?
Yeah, well, because the old man did that a lot too. When he came back to life, he was doing a lot of teeth clicking. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's some kind of parallel?
I don't know. The teeth clicking on the zombies is just what they do.
Well, right, but I'm saying that they gave the governor a zombie-like tick, that he's like hangs out with the zombie daughter, he watches zombie heads.
That's true.
He's becoming, like Rick when he went through a psychotic break. Mm-hmm. He's becoming more like the zombies than he is the living. Is that, you think you're going with that direction?
You might be stretching, but I like it.
All right.
This was also another incredibly tense scene. Actually,
well, let me ask you
before we get to the scene with Maggie.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk a little bit when Merle's outside, because Merle, you've got the other guy from the wall and the scouting party or whatever right there next to him. The backwards hat guy. I don't know his name.
Brownie.
Okay, whatever. But he's like, he tries to interject something, asks Merle like what the guy did to him, and Merle's just like, he pissed me off, and he gives him a dirty look.
Uh-huh.
Like, I get the distinct impression that the only guy here that Merle cares to be friendly with is the governor. And everybody else is kind of against him.
Well, that you could say that, except for we've seen him be friendly with
Gargiulio? Hell no.
No, not him, but the other guys that he's arena fighting, like Brownie, for example. I feel like he respects and likes Brownie. He just...
What was that all about then?
Because he's a fucking angry psychopath, man, and angry psychopaths don't like being questioned in front of their leaders.
I don't know, man. Well, yeah, you might be right about that.
At
the end, there's something else too, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so let's go to Maggie. You had something to say about that?
Do you think what would happen if Maggie played along a little bit instead of being as defiant as she was from the get?
What do you mean played along? Like started giving him information?
Well, not giving information, but at least
fake information.
No, I guess I don't know, because he seemed like he was trying to be reasonable and like, look, if you just tell us what we know, we'll let you back with your friends. Do you think the fact that Merle fucking tortured her boyfriend in the next room over, like that just wasn't an option?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm trying to think where they could have like done this a little bit better. Or how Maggie could have gotten, avoided being like totally fucking creeped out.
Yeah. I don't know, because I mean, without giving up any information, it's really hard to kind of stretch that out. Because the governor was there, he meant business.
Yeah, good point.
He was like, I'm getting information from you, one way or another.
Right.
And then when she doesn't immediately give up information, he switches to creep mode.
Uh-huh.
Creep. He turns on the creep. Did you think they were actually going to do it in this scene? Did you think AMC was going to go there? I
really was starting to think that they I don't know that obviously they weren't going to show
sure
the step. I thought that we were going to hit a commercial break and come back with the aftermath, and it was going to be pretty bad.
Do you think they needed to, or was this effective enough?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay, I think it was effective enough.
It certainly. I felt very. This was a hard episode to watch in places, and this was one of the hardest parts. I felt pretty shaky. So I imagine if it got even worse, it would. So you're right. I bet that you didn't have to go all that way.
Yeah, the close-up shot of Maggie where she's got her shirt off and the governor's standing next to her being creepy was awesome. I mean, this is the first time I've really seen Laurie Cohan do some awesome acting, so I was pretty impressed with it. But yeah, I thought the scene was really effective in what it was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, the raiding party leaves their car a couple miles out from Woodbury, and Michonne leads them through the woods, where they get jumped by a gang of walkers, and they hide in an old cabin where this crazy guy tries to kill them.
And apparently there's a loud smell, and there's a dead family dog on the... I mean, there's just this is a cabin of what the fuck.
Yeah, it's full of it.
He lives on 123 What the Fuck Street. It's in the middle of the fucking woods, which, and it's a shack. Mm-hmm. Like any kind of sizable herd would tear this thing to pieces, and there's no visible means of sustaining yourself. There's no water.
And keep in mind, we're a year out from
we've gone through
the zombie apocalypse.
The harsh Georgia winter.
Yeah.
This is a very... I don't understand. Like, did they need 5 minutes to fill? Did they feel like we haven't seen a good old-fashioned feeding frenzy this season yet?
Yeah, it felt
we had Otis. We had the horse in the first season, Otis in the second, and they're like, well, we haven't seen a good intros ripping.
We still haven't seen a good one because it was terrible. The effects at the end of the scene were horrible.
Really?
Yeah. If you go back and you watch that,
you're the connoisseur. I'm not. So
you can obviously tell that they didn't have anything there. All they did was take a shirt on a body pour some red food coloring on it, and have these guys move their hands around. There were no intestines being ripped. There was nothing.
I saw intestines.
No, and they had to even zoom the camera in to keep that to mask the effect.
Okay.
Yeah, it was terrible.
All right.
I've seen better stuff in B horror movies.
Okay.
They did get jumped by a ton of walkers, though. That was kind of interesting. I don't know how all those walkers got there all at the same time, but were they in the red zone at this point, 2 miles out from Woodbury?
Who the hell knows? I mean, it's not like there's a sign.
We don't really know where the red zone is.
And what do they consider red zone? I mean, I guess that they've done a more... Because there's a steady stream of zombies assaulting Woodbury at all times, it seems like.
Yeah.
So how safe is it really?
Probably not super safe.
I don't know. I wonder what they mean by red zone, green zone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if that means like in the green zone they've like hidden caches of weapons and like maybe little mini fallbacks portions where they could, where if you go outside their fortifications and all that. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
That'd be interesting to see. I do have to give Rick some shit in this scene in the cabin because we gave Andrea so much shit when she took the shot at what she thought was a walker from the top of the RV last season. Rick damn near killed Daryl this episode. Mm-hmm. Almost killed Daryl by pushing that shotgun aside. Daryl had to spin out of the way. Mm-hmm. I would have been so angry. That's not the way for Daryl to go out.
No.
Anyway, all right, let's move on. Oh, the commercial. Do you remember what commercial came on immediately after the intestine ripping scene?
Yeah, it's KFC.
Good. Awesome. Next scene is Mr. Coleman turning into a zombie. I don't know what you think about this. His reaction and his stupidity.
I don't know. I feel like who was the girl that played Amy last season?
I don't know her name.
But I thought when I see this guy doing this, come reanimating, I thought that hers was a lot creepier and more well done, and a lot more to the point, ambiguous about. Because I remember when I first saw, like, maybe there was some flash of recognition, or maybe, obviously it's not going to keep you from eating your face off, but there is. And in first season, they played around with that a little bit more. There's some feedback we got about that. I don't want to step on over it, but I don't know. Again, this is one of the sourness. This is why, this in the shack is why the episode wasn't a 10.
Yeah.
They cut those two scenes out. This is a 10. There's no fat.
30-minute episode.
There's no filler. It's all, or they could have if they were looking for things to draw out, they could have drawn out the interrogations and made those a little bit, creepier. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't kind of linger on this guy's transformation because they had already done that in season 1, like you said.
Well, I don't think
maybe they were just kind of like
I didn't feel like lingering. I just felt like it was. I'm not gonna harp on it.
Yeah,
it's just a sour note in the otherwise excellent show.
Okay. I did like Poindexter's performance here. He was actually totally freaked out by this thing. Like once the zombie grabbed him and he saw that these things are monsters. They're not people anymore. He was pretty freaked out.
I will say that this is a shitty experiment. I mean, you're conditioning this old man to raise his hand, and then you're going to strap that hand down as part of your protocol.
Yeah.
Like, how did that get past the drawing board stage?
That's as bad as telling him to click his teeth.
Yeah, or, blink, or, I don't know what.
Eat brains.
Right. If you lunge at me and bite my face, if you understand.
Awesome.
And the other thing is, I also think that he was way too fucking impatient to get results.
Yeah.
Like if I was approaching this from a scientist, and I know that zombies can be habituated to being around human flesh once they can no longer. It's like I would have. This would be a long-term game. I'm going to be observing this fucker over a week and repeating this experiment over and over and over again, and see if he ever starts to calm down. Because I was just kind of gobsmacked at how shitty the whole protocol was.
Yeah, which lends the idea some credence that he's not a scientist.
The Mythbusters could have come up with a better test for this in
definitely.
like 5 seconds flat.
And it would have been cooler, too, and resulted in explosions. Next scene, the governor puts a gun to Glenn's head, and Maggie gives up the location and the number of survivors.
And before everyone says that, like, you know, Maggie was the puss here, Maggie's made of pretty fucking stern stuff.
Sure.
I mean, when the governor was basically threatening to rape her, she's like, go to hell.
Yeah.
It took a threat to Glenn's life to break her. And, you know, I mean, how can you 100% say what you would or wouldn't do in that scenario?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I honestly kind of thought Glenn was going to break.
Oh, no, Glenn
was going to, yeah.
And I think the reason the governor didn't push harder on Glenn is because he knew he
really?
wasn't going to.
Yeah.
In that scene, you can see the governor kind of puts the gun to Maggie's head and then goes, nah.
Once he killed a zombie with his bare hands, when he started those bare hands being tied to a chair, he's like, okay, this guy's not.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, what is going on in Merle's head during all this? Because when I thought he kind of looked what passes for thoughtful on Merle's face when he said, they said that they came back for me.
Yeah, both of them said that.
Yeah.
Andrea and Glenn.
Right, and the fact that he's kind of sitting there and saying, well, do you think as people come looking for him? Like, well, they said they came looking for me. I think he's starting to really believe that, and maybe he's starting to rethink his relationship with the governor and the fact that his brother is out there kicking ass with Rick. And
yeah,
I mean, I would have said there was going to be an epic confrontation between Glenn and Merle coming up.
Daryl and Merle?
I'm sorry, Daryl and Merle coming up. Now I kind of think there's a very strong chance of Merle joining Daryl.
It's possible.
Like, I wouldn't have said that until this episode.
Sure, yeah.
But, you know, the governor kind of fearful for his own power and berating Merle. These are, you know, the opposite of the things he's done to get Merle built up into this leadership position.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue in the next scene because here he's questioning Merle's loyalty. This is a scene where he basically says, this prison that you said couldn't be taken was taken by a group of 10 people with your brother at its core.
And he's like, well, he's like, she's probably lying. He's like, oh, well, then we've got a sizable force right in our backyard. Neither one of these potentials is particularly appealing to me. We've either got 10 badasses or an army of competent people.
Yeah, neither one is good. This scene is where I was questioning earlier, like Merle's loyalty towards his fellow guards, because the governor sends out a scouting party and conspicuously leaves out Merle here.
Right.
He's like, Merle, you're punished. You're going to the corner.
Right.
For 10 minutes, and these guys are going out scouting.
And
it's visible on Merle's face. He doesn't like that.
No. Especially when the governor kind of rubs it in, like, you know, I'm open to questioning your loyalty, even though you've given me absolutely no reason to do so. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you stayed with me when you wanted to go look for your brother, blah, blah, blah. The music that kicks in right about here.
Yeah, when they're cutting back and forth between the wall and the governor.
It's like this pulse. It's like the pulse of the show. It's just throbbing.
I wasn't sure if it was the music or if it was in my brain because of how this episode played out. I was just
honestly,
shell-shocked by
it's
it.
very Breaking Bad. It's almost like industrial. Mm-hmm. Just
almost a noise more than music.
Yeah.
But in a rhythm. So the governor sends out a scouting party. I think you just
described music. It's kind of like a noise, but in a rhythm.
Yeah, I guess. Not an instrument.
Congratulations, you independently discovered music.
Eureka! I'm going to be rich.
Now we just need to find a cave to paint.
Oh, boy. So in this scene, the governor sends out the scouting party, like I said.
Which I also love the fact that he's like, we ought to get to jump on these people. And as Rick and his people are encircling them.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think Rick and company are going to spot the scouting party and follow them out and just take them out?
I don't know. I kind of think they're going to roll up in there and regulate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Either way, I'm happy. And it was interesting how Andrea is just on the other side of the wall here.
Oh, the way
had she not been jumping over the wall and stabbing walkers in the head 2 episodes ago,
she would have seen this.
She might have seen that.
And I actually
they would have seen her for sure.
Yeah, and how they kept on switching from that perspective to Andrea's, and then when the governor's talking about Daryl and Merle's loyalty, they flashed at Daryl sneaking in. It's like really skillfully done.
Yeah, very cool. The final scene is Andrea going back to the governor's house, pouring herself a drink, and getting the big embrace from the governor.
Now, what do you think the governor, because he had a long kind of catatonic stare into the camera.
He's worried.
I think
that
so,
was
too.
Worry on his face.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Next episode should be big.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm excited. Anything else to say about this episode before I do the Survivor of the Week?
No, I think I can predict both.
All right, Idiot Survivor.
Idiot Survivor. I don't know, but I think I can predict the
kill.
The kill.
All right, Idiot Survivor of the Week. I'm giving it to Milton / Poindexter for releasing the dude's arms.
Oh, I was going to give it to Cabin Boy.
Why give it to him?
Because he's an obvious idiot. I don't know how he survived.
All right, and Milton has plenty of time to earn another.
Yeah. This guy needs, he doesn't have a lifetime award because his lifetime was exactly 30 seconds.
Fine, he can have it.
All right.
Congratulations, you're an idiot. Zombie kill of the week? What do you think?
Got to be Glenn.
Oh, definitely, with the armchair kill.
I would have quit the podcast and protest.
It's so awesome, man.
Yeah,
it wasn't a particularly gruesome or awesome kill necessarily, but the way it happened, like the lead up to it.
And the action was well shot.
Very well shot.
Clear, well choreographed, believable.
Yeah.
I really believe that he did slowly tear that chair apart, and then he had, weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had the duct tape armor, too.
It reminded me of, exactly, the unstoppable duct tape. It reminded me of that scene from The Protector.
Oh, yeah,
right?
the elephant bones.
Where he stripes that. By the way, if you like Kung Fu action, you've got to check out Tony Jaa in The Protector. The movie's ludicrous. Mm-hmm. Fast forward until you see two maniacs fighting in a room full of water with fire in the background.
Yeah.
And then that 15-minute stretch is like the best Kung Fu action I've ever seen.
From there till the end of the movie is awesome.
At least 100 guys get their arms, legs, and other large joints wrecked.
Yeah.
Enough to keep an orthopedic wing of a hospital busy for years. Just on those cases that he created.
And enough to keep me laughing
for
20 minutes.
You can't, we've shown this to men, women, children,
dogs.
There'll be a point where you just can't help but laugh at how awesome
and ludicrous
it is. And it just keeps on getting better, worse, funnier, whatever.
Man. All right. Well, that's the synopsis for this episode and for The Protector. Should we go ahead?